Okay, so we are on to the third eye chakra today. So I've been doing this little mini chakra training ever since Monday. It seems a long time ago, and I was in a completely different country, in a completely different room, and it was summer. So that's interesting, although the sun is going to shine today here in Bristol. So today's topic is the third eye chakra. We've been working through from the root up to the on a different chakra each day. And today I invite you to join me for this very short session on the third eye chakra. So I've been looking at how these planes of consciousness are kind of also levels of development in our own spiritual lives and our human existence, from going from that sort of baby root chakra. You can kind of imagine this newborn baby just taking physical existence in life, having traveled down through the chakras to get here, has taken this physical form, and once his or her needs met, survival needs, it screams and it cries until it's fed and given shelter and warmth. And so that's in our stage of development. That is kind of the newborn baby stage, where you're just kind of like, I just need this essential stuff in my life. I need to be able to survive. I need food. I need shelter. I need my needs, my essential needs need to be met. So it's very much about that kind of like demanding to be heard, taking up space in your body, and getting your home in order. So this is about how you make money, your job, your boss, your relationship with your parents and your ancestors, because this is kind of the line that you've been brought into this world to follow. Your home, getting your home in order. Are you living in the right place? Are you living in the wrong place? And often it's not very grounding working on the root chakra, as we saw. It's like sometimes it's like repotting a plant. You the rug is swept from under your feet, and it's demanded of you that you find a new place to live and you set up new roots there. So it's not always easy. It's not always like, well, I'll just stay here and put my roots down. Sometimes if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you have to kind of like take this baby plant out of its pot, kind of shake off the dirt off its roots and kind of repot it. And that's all such a shock to the system. But if you hadn't done that, you wouldn't be able to grow. You wouldn't be able to grow more. You wouldn't have been able to take in more water, more light, more space. So sometimes it's quite ungrounding when you're grounding. And then if we think about the sacral chakra in terms of human development, it's probably a bit like when you start to leave your mother. Earth can be seen as mother. Root chakra can be seen as connection to the Mother Earth. So it's when you start kind of wandering off on your own. Maybe you're about, I don't know when, I can't remember. It's all a blur. Mine are 13 and 15 now. But as you start kind of developing your own power, your own personality as distinct from mother, you start kind of crawling away, but you always look back, see if the mum's there. You go out, you come back. You go out and you come back. So you meet the world. You're meeting yourself in relation to the world. So that's sacral chakra, and you start to taste things and you start to feel things and you start to learn about the world through your senses. And then solar plexus comes along, your fire. This can be seen, in some way of kind of seeing this development as the terrible twos. You start kind of, realizing you've got this strength of will and needing to exercise your will as distinct, separating from mother, and kind of, there's things that really get you going and kind of initiate some emotion, feeling, the quality of feeling, and rage and radiance, and kind of all these mixed bags of emotions that kind of fuel you forward. And once that's balanced out, you get to kind of live in the heart center. You get to learn about love and fall in love and feel compassion for the world, and this kind of fuels you forward with the air element. And then yesterday we spoke about the throat chakra. This, once you've moved all of that, you're able to kind of really intuit a little bit more, have a bit more empathy, a bit more kind of deeper compassion, be able to hear what is being said, not just through the words but through the entire communication. You're able to maybe connect to your own sense of intuition, very subtler kind of, this is ether, this is space. very subtle, measurement of kind of elements. So this is kind of where you might connect to the collective unconscious and your own sense of intuition, the liminal space, the space between consciousness and unconsciousness, this kind of realm of infinite creativity, limitless potential, and where all creativity comes from. It's lying there and fueling you forward. So if you've been joining me thus far, do drop me a comment. I'll see if these comments are working, and I'll just say good morning in the comments. And if you're no, I've put good comments. Good morning, I meant. If you are joining me and you've been joining me all week, then you know that if you can comment on these lives, watching them either live now or later on the recordings, you have a chance of winning the chakra bracelet, which will be in the post on Monday. So what's going to happen tomorrow is that I'm going to put all of the names of the people who have been commenting and engaging with this mini training. So I've got a few names of them: Dora, Josie Norton, Jan Furness, Nicola Stubbings, Jane Grimstead, Valerie Doxey, Jenny Johnson, the Zen Spices from Instagram, Carmina Ray Morales, Anna Julie, Haley, Carmina, oh yes, I already said her, Lynn Belcher, Zara Jenkins, I can't read my writing. Oh no, that's Nicola again, and Rachel Gardner. So if I've missed you off the list and you've been commenting, make sure that I know about that. I'll put all the names in my Tibetan singing bowl, and I'll pick one out tomorrow so that on Monday I can send you this. And you probably know, if you've been joining me for all these trainings, these mini trainings, that this week I'm offering the free yoga cards, these amazing cards that are made by a friend of mine. These are showing you the one that you can't see, chakra cards, which are packs of kind of meditation tools. So in Tantra yoga, where, Tantra philosophy is where the chakras originally come from, and they're meditation tools to get in touch with your energy body. And they're not physical centers. You can't cut me open and find my chakras. I'm not that good at chakra work. So what happens is you meditate on them in the Tantra tradition, and you feel more powerful, and they're assigned deities and geometrical shapes. And there's another kind of way of working which is called Tratak, which you might have done in yoga classes, where it's candle gazing, and it's kind of a concentration exercise as a preliminary to meditation. And Tratak you can do actually on yantras. Yantras are these kind of mandalas that you might have seen. Mandalas, you might have mandalas around your home, you might color mandalas. They're geometrical shapes with usually with a focal point at the center, and you focus on that. Normally it's a black dot, but I've seen some which are kind of more oval shaped to actually represent the Oni, which is just a beautiful imagery. I won't go down that road now because it's complicated, but you have this kind of focal point at the center, and you stare at them with your eyes open. And so there are symbols assigned to each of the chakras. In some ways the symbols are infused with modern age chakra work, like the colors, but some of the symbols are the same as they were. Generally you have root chakra is a red square, representing the 4 cardinal directions. It has 4 petals, which means there's 4 main channels of energy, rivers and main nadis connecting there. The sacral is generally a crescent moon, and it has 6 petals, and it's usually orange. Then the solar plexus is an upside down triangle, the fire element, and it has more petals there. You can see they get more and more and more, but then we'll see in a minute. The heart chakra, 2 interlinking triangles making a Star of David. That we see, that is the connection. Remember, we realized that the heart is connecting your 3 lower chakras with your 3 higher chakras. Then we had yesterday's blue. The throat chakra is a blue circle, because that's representing infinity, this kind of endless, this kind of infinite sea of possibility. And then we get much more subtle with the third eye. And we have this, it's just a black dot, really. You kind of skip all the other elements and you go for this one black dot. But this is a representation of of the third eye there, with the Eye of Horus there, this kind of visionary, perceptionary thing, and only two big petals. And I'll come to that in a minute. And then we have the crown chakra, which is the 1,000-petaled lotus kind of that opens at the top of the head. So these chakra cards are free if you sign up to Transform and Inspire this week. And Transform and Inspire starts on Tuesday. It's not always Tuesdays. We run this course with the moon. So we have 2 coaching calls per month for 7 months, so that we have a new moon meeting and a full moon meeting. These are all recorded. So if you can't make them, because the 14 days, throughout the 7 months, twice a month, are all going to fall on different days. So if you're looking at the calendar and you think, oh, I can't make that, I won't join, please don't worry, because not everyone can make all of them. And most of this work is done privately at home. We just have these check-ins. I record them and upload them so that you get a chance to take part anyway. You can then share your questions, your comments. We often set up a group WhatsApp chat, which you can, if you want to join. You don't have to. Not everyone likes, group WhatsApp chats, but some people really benefit from that. So you can be checking in. I've had people in different countries that could never make any of the live coaching calls, but still worked through the material. So we start on Tuesday, and if you're not ready on Tuesday, don't worry, because you can join afterwards. But you just have to get in touch with me, because once Tuesday's passed, it won't be on my website anymore. And also I can give you payment plans, because it might be difficult to come up with a big amount of money by Tuesday. It's not a big amount of money for the 7 months, but you might prefer to pay over time at this point. Just want to join, just get yourself enrolled, in which case just let me know, and you get a free chakra pack sent to you in the post. So I'm going to the post office straight after this. I've got mala beads to send to some people who've booked the half price mala beads, and their chakra cards, because they've booked on the training. So yeah, if you want mala beads, if you're part of this mini training, you don't even have to book on the course. Just if you've seen any of these and you are interested in any of these lovely mala beads, which are homemade by Amelia, they're half price at the moment, which means this wooden one with amethyst detail is only £5 at the moment instead of 10. I've got 3 smaller beads: fuchsia, onyx with amethyst detail, and onyx with chakra detail, and they are 9 instead of 18. And I've got this one which is absolutely beautiful with larger rose quartz beads, and that is 10 instead of 20. So if you're interested in any of that, let me know in the comments. If you've been doing your homework this week, let me know, either through private messaging. Not everyone wants to be all public about everything. You can message me, you can email me, you can DM me on Instagram, you can Facebook message me, you can WhatsApp me. There's all I have is messages with the outside world. So yeah, let me know how it's going. I heard from a few people about aha moments coming up. I find it so fascinating. There's always something that comes up for people when you do this chakra work. So we're on to third eye. So what happens with third eye is that the energy in your life, in whatever you are working on. Now imagine you've been working 7 months, like if you've been doing the Transform and Inspire, you start off in September, and you just know that it's time to make some changes, or there's this thing that you wanted to do and you can't quite do it. There's something standing in the way. It's usually you standing in your own way, and this whole training is about getting yourself out of the way and just letting things come through you, just trusting that whatever needs to come through will come through if you get out of the way. So you've embarked on this journey. You don't really know why you've joined. You saw this crazy woman doing these mad lives, rambling away in the mornings, and you thought, right, yeah, I'm going to get on board. And you're working through your stuff, and through the darker months of winter, when it's really, really hard, you're working on some of the really difficult elements of your life, like solar plexus, anger, things that are making you angry, rage, your past trauma, your past karmas, the things that you're ashamed of, the things that you push down. And, you've been told that you've got to kind of shed some awareness or just put some light there, which is quite uncomfortable. And it's winter and everything's crap. And last year, think about the group that were doing it through this lockdown that happened with no ending, suddenly an announcement that you are not allowed out until further notice. That was, and that at that time to working through the darkest things. But guess what? You have to go through the dark to get to the light. And so you start working through your stuff, you find out, all this power, and through your heart, you open your heart, you start to speak your dreams into being, start talking in the group, start talking to the people around you, singing your dreams into existence. You plug into this liminal space, you plug into the collective unconscious, you take power, you're starting to meet the source and getting this infinite energy, infinite creativity, limitless potential also comes with a huge amount of energy that you can actually just move forward without this kind of everything I do makes me tired. You can actually move forward. And that's where we get to third eye. And third eye is really about full focus. Like, what do I call it in my trainings? The warp drive. So if you've ever seen Star Trek, then you know that suddenly when they kind of put their spaceship into acceleration, it goes so fast that you just kind of, everything comes together, and suddenly those stars that were like dots are just lines, and you just get into the warp drive. So third eye is about bringing everything that you've learned into balance so that you just go. And during the way, we use the black dot, as it were, at the center of these meditation tools. We use them as a focal point, right? So you see the red square with the black dot for the root chakra. You see a crescent moon with a black dot for the sacral chakra, and so on. All of these geometrical images, the mandalas, everything that we've been meditating on has a black dot. The black dot represents the passageway that you go through. So when you get up to here, the black dot is the passageway to the warp drive. This probably makes no sense at all. And so you are then projected, everything comes into balance. Now in tantric philosophy, there are, we've had this rivers of energy. Actually, there's kind of 50 or 52, I forget now, main rivers of energy, which relate to Sanskrit letters, which is also really cool because, sound and creation and all that, on another tangent. And these relate to the amount of petals each of the chakra has. So however many petals, that's the amount of main energy channels, the big energy, the big emotions coming together. When you get to the third eye, there's only two. There's two coming together to the main energy channel. So your Sushumna Nadi, which would relate to your spinal column, has these two other main nadis, which are kind of spiraling around the chakras. They kind of go around and they cross. Different texts say they cross different points. Some people think they cross all of them. People think they cross at the root and then the throat. Some people think they cross at the root, the heart, the third eye. Anyway, at the third eye, they cross. They come together. So one's called Ida and one's called Pingala, and they relate to the right and left sides or hemispheres or of your brain, but also of your life, the opposing forces at work in your life. So you can think of this as the pairs of opposites in any kind of category. So this could be your little self, your human self with your divine self. It could be, your sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, coming together with your parasympathetic, the rest and digest, finding balance. Pleasure, pain, success, failure, like basically all of the opposing forces in your life, right and left, male, female, yin, yang, whatever you want to see them as, they come together and they cross over with Sushumna Nadi. And this is what creates the warp drive. This is what means that you suddenly see clearly. So this is about proper perception. Normally we walk around in life and we see things how we want to see them. We see things, we've already decided what things look like, and there's this polarization. And, I understand this to be the case at the moment with, when you start finding out that you watch things like that Facebook documentary, which I can't remember the name of, but, you realize the polarization that's going on at work, and, how the algorithms mean that, in your Facebook feed, you're only seeing what you're interested in, and all of your arguments are being confirmed all the time because of the algorithm. So, everyone is kind of seeing this thing. But with the third eye, with all this other work you've done to open your heart, to listen in, to feel into what's going on in the bigger picture, the third eye enables you to see what actually is. So you can see the world as it is rather than how you want it to be. And this is so empowering because it enables you to be able to move forward without any fear, totally balanced, and just kind of move into very deep meditative states where you can actually conserve your energy. And it becomes effortless. You're able to kind of tune into this effortlessness of moving forward because it's not pushing against anything, it's not fighting against anything, it's not in defense. Everything is settled down. So what we see in the nervous system is that when we do balance out right and left hemispheres of the brain, when we do balance out sympathetic and parasympathetic, it just creates space, creates this kind of this effortlessness of being, like it's the effort's taken away and you have this focus. So a lot of people that get a lot done, who aren't getting exhausted from it, that's because they've hit this warp drive. They've hit this focal point, this concentration, this level of concentration where they're not being disturbed with the other stuff. And it's like you're letting your brain help you understand the world rather than your senses. You've kind of withdrawn from the senses, your reactions to things, and you're just going on this kind of clear path. So if nothing else, it just helps you to get calm and calm your brain waves down. We do a lot of work here on meditation. Most meditation practices we do actually are concentration exercises. So you can actually improve your concentration by doing meditation exercises. So meditation in itself is a bit beyond that. It's about continued concentration on a fixed point, which if we're lucky we get glimpses of every now and then. But generally speaking, what we're doing when we practice meditation in this day and age is just practicing concentration, just really creating a space where we can actually settle our minds. And that in itself is hugely healing. And it enables the brain waves to settle down a little bit, to go from these alpha and beta waves to kind of more still, more slow waves, delta and theta, that enable us to heal, enable us to process memories, enable us to deeply rest the whole system, like those states we get to in a yoga nidra practice. And if you've done my yoga nidra course, I do talk a little bit about the scientific kind of brainwave neuroscience backing up the yoga nidra. So it's the same thing when we meditate deeply and we just develop this power of concentrating the mind. So this enables you to just go and do the thing that you wanted to do. Like, that thing you wanted to do, just go do it. People can say that, just do the thing you want to do, and it's like, you can't. If all of this is out of balance, you're standing in your own way. You don't mean to stand in your own way, and you don't know why you're standing in your own way. And sometimes it takes a course like this to kind of really delve into and shed some light on what's standing in the way. So you get to the third eye, and hopefully this is kind of like February, March time. You've gone through the dark healing of the 7-month journey, and you're ready to kind of really, plant your seeds. And spring is coming at this point when we do the 7-month journey. So you start to see the buds of the stuff that you planted but way back in September. You start to see the buds kind of coming in this green, and the light coming back. So the other thing about third eye is that it's where you process your light, you process your darkness. And the trouble is with us, we don't want any darkness. We want all light all the time. But light only comes from darkness, and you can only really process light if you have had the darkness. So it's balancing light and dark. It's kind of what helps us balance, night and day. There's a lot of association with melatonin here in these kind of, in the physical body, to do with the glands there, which, again, is another discussion. But I think it's interesting that we need the dark to get to the light, and avoiding this darkness, avoiding going down into the murky realm of our minds, our bodies, our spirits. We never get the light. So you need the failure to get the success. You need the dark to get the light. So it's quite interesting way of living then, because there are no mistakes. It's like It doesn't matter if you fail. It doesn't matter if your dream changes. It doesn't matter if you take this path instead of that path, because you're just always kind of in this cycle of your own personal development or evolution. Anyway, that's basically what the third eye is. And yeah, so hopefully you can do what's really good as a practice is the alternate nostril breathing, because this really helps to balance the right and left sides of the hemispheres, the brain, the body. It really brings the energy. When we do this pranayama, we're balancing prana, energy, life force. We're not just, breathing through one nostril at a time. So you can try and do 10 minutes of alternate nostril breathing. Now there's loads of ways of doing this. You can have your hand in different kind of mudras. You could use a different hand. You could use one finger and another finger. Basically, don't worry about it. Don't overcomplicate it. Block one nostril, breathe out through the other one, then breathe in through the same side, then block both nostrils, then release the original one, breathe out and breathe in, and then change like that. Block, release, breathe out, breathe in, block, release, breathe out, and breathe in. And what you can do as a practice, I mean, it's amazing if you can do this every day. You have to do it so it suits you. If there's anxiety rising in you, panic, then just stop. Just do it really, really slowly. Do it your own rhythm. If it doesn't feel right, you can imagine that you're doing it. Or if you've got one blocked nostril, there's no point in forcing. You can do this, what we call psychically. It just means you're imagining doing it without any hands. You imagine that you're breathing out through one side, then in through the same side, and out through the other side and in through the same side. So you can do it with your imagination, and sometimes even doing that clears the nostrils. It's quite incredible. So you kind of think of this rainbow of breath coming out, and you think of the out breath as the cleansing of that side, and the in breath as the filling with fresh energy of that side. So then you try to make the out breath a bit longer. You can go for twice as long. I like to breathe out for 8 and breathe in for 4. And then change, breathe out for 8, breathe in for 4. But you don't have to do that. Not everyone likes counting. It can be quite disturbing. I love counting, but not everyone does. You can do it without counting, breathe out, breathe in, change, breathe out, breathe in, change. But if you want to know that you're really deliberately affecting your nervous system, then you can breathe out, because the breath out is like the rest and digest, right? It connects you to your parasympathetic. Your breath in is taking energy. That's your sympathetic. So if you are deliberately lengthening your out breath, then you're deliberately switching to your parasympathetic nervous system. But you have to be ready for that, and sometimes you're not. So breathe out first, breathe in, change, breathe out, breathe in, change. So, and you can do 8 and 4 so that you're doubling, you're cleaning out, and then your breath in for 4, because you've had to breathe out for so long, your breath in for 4 is so long and deep, so full and deep, that in 4 you really get to fill your lungs. You have no choice but to take a nice full deep breath in. You can also add retentions. So retentions, you can hold the breath. You can hold it either at the end of the out breath. So I've breathed out all the way, and then I might want to just hold the breath out before I breathe in. That's the hardest way, but also you can retain the breath at the end of the in breath. So I've breathed in for 4. I'm just going to hold before I go to the other side. And that is a retention that you can do as well. And this might be just a pause. This is where, you might find like a bit of panic. So, just do what's comfortable for you. And again, retaining the breath at the end of the in breath is going to give you a lot of energy, because it's like enhancing that in breath quality, and retaining, and it's going to be a little bit easier. Retaining the breath at the end of the out breath is going to accentuate your rest and digest. So probably going to be a shorter pause, because it's hard to hold the breath with no breath there, but that's going to switch on your rest and digest a little bit more. Anyway, I hope you enjoy that, and please do join Transform and Inspire on Tuesday, because it's just an amazing adventure, and you can do it from anywhere in the world now. It's online. The resources page, which you get access to on booking, is full of techniques that you can do. It's a personal journey, but we meet to share stories. So there's yoga classes you can do, there are meditations you can do, do for each chakra. There's nidras you can do for each chakra. There are also resources that you can use, kind of talking about PDFs, talking about the chakra shopping list, should you wish to set up your altar for each chakra, different ways of working, journaling, contemplation, vibrational work. And we start on Tuesday. And if you're not available on Tuesday, join anyway, because they're all recorded and you get your free chakra cards. So tomorrow will be the prize draw, and I'll talk a little bit about the crown chakra. Thank you so much for your patience, all the people that are watching, and yeah, I appreciate you a lot, and I shall stop rambling now. Lots of love. Have a lovely Saturday. Bye.